Yo guys, what is up? A really exciting video for me to make today. I just got back from my holiday and the first day back I'm actually making a video about a brand new RTS game that's going to be the closest thing to Command & Conquer we're probably ever going to get, or at least in the foreseeable future at least. So a few days ago, I think it's just over a week ago actually, a Gamescom event that was streamed online. There's a new game going to be released in 2023 called Tempest Rising. Now the people making it, or as far as I've seen online and what I've read from the description, they are quite fans of Command & Conquer and actually making it quite like the Command & Conquer / RTS games from the 90s. So we're going to quickly watch the trailer. It's less than 2 minutes, like 1 minute 42. Watch this full screen, and then we will tell you a little bit more about it.
Battle command uplink initializing. Please stand by.
Land across Eurasia, most heavily affected by the fallout.
You have proven yourself loyal to me so far, General. Our dynasty has waited long enough. Show me that my trust is not misplaced.
Braces for the inevitable retaliation.
Though they may be, they are still flesh and bone.
Looking very, very nice. I think the end of this trailer just as it's coming in 2023.
Get to work.
That's a pretty vague date to give, like just saying 2023, so you can imagine this is probably going to still be a way off. We're probably still going to be talking about this in a year's time. Probably going to be end of 2023, isn't it, to make such a decent game, unless it gets rushed out like games have done in the past. But it already is looking pretty decent. So it's over here on the Steam page. If you have a little bit of read about it, actually I've made myself some notes on the other page. So actually, you know what, I'll just pull this across. I've made myself like quite a bit of a checklist, like the top 3 things. Does it have base building? Yes. Does it have resource collection and not capture points like some other games have, which actually quite annoys me, to be honest? Well, yes, it does. It has these Tempest Vines. Is there no unit cap? Well, from the screenshots I've seen and from what I've actually... If you freeze frame this video at certain points, you can see what the base building's like, and there's no such thing as like a unit cap from what I can see. So that's looking pretty good, those first 3 points. Is there good music? Yes, as you heard there from the trailer. I think one of the songs, or maybe that song from the trailer, actually got posted on YouTube as well. So the graphics look good. Well, it's not the most realistic looking game in the world, but the graphics look pretty decent. Is it on par with or better than like StarCraft 2 and Red Alert 3 and stuff like that? Perhaps. Does the gameplay actually look good? Well, from what I've seen, the interaction with the units and the gameplay actually looks fun and engaging. So to be honest, you see a lot of yeses here, and it's actually looking very good. Is the trailer and the video good as well? Because a lot of people complain actually the trailers sometimes look good, but the gameplay looks bad. But actually in this case, the trailer / videos look as good as the gameplay. They both look good. And the realistic details. This is a big one for me. Like, are there like tire tracks, and are the explosions not like way over the top like General's Evolution and stuff like that? The infantry fights look decent, and from what I've seen from the video and the screenshots, again, yes, everything looks good. Can you send builders everywhere? So like in Zero, from the beginning, you can send a dozer across the map, build a war factory, and to send Flamer into the base and win in 2 minutes. You can't do that from what I've seen. It's more like the Red Alert and the games from the 90s. You expand your base from like the edge of your base, and you grow and creep out like other similar games. But yeah, obviously in Zero you can send a GLA worker to the other side of the map and build a tunnel straight away and potentially win a game in a few minutes. Doesn't look like you can do that. And is there a secondary economy? I asked one of the developers, or one of the people at least working on this on Twitter. I wrote, I hope there's base building, I hope there's no unit cap, and I hope there's a secondary economy. Like, I hope, like, if all the Tempest Vines, if they all dry up, for example, then are you left just with no money? Well, hopefully there's some kind of secondary economy. The three factions. Also, yeah, there's going to be three factions from what I've identified. It's going to be GDF, Tempest Dynasty, which it also mentions here on the Steam page, and then the third faction is TBC. Probably gives you the Q4. There'll be an expansion at some point, released 2023, and from the Steam page you can gather that there's going to be a campaign of 2 times 15 missions, which kind of concretes that this first release of the game will just be about those 2 factions, but then perhaps in the future there'll be an expansion. So if you have a look closely more at these screenshots on Steam, so this looks like, from what I gather, the GDF faction, usually in the blue. They often see these tanks with like a double turret. Looks like a pretty heavy tank. I don't know if it's supposed to be a heavy tank or not. This looks like a reactor, and actually sometimes you see them 2 together, so it might be like a double or advanced reactor. Not quite sure what that is, but it could be like some kind of MCV / mobile construction yard, construction vehicle. That there looks like some kind of tech building, or a building that you'll capture, or yeah, like a tech building, like a mid-tech building, like, you know, when you're building thinking in Kane's Wrath, what's that, is it called a command center or something, where you build not before the tech center, but the one before it, maybe something like that. Or maybe I'm just chatting absolute rubbish. Explosive barrels, sandbags. This looks like light infantry. Maybe some of these are heavier, unless I zoom in, we can't tell fully. This looks like a Tempest Dynasty base. That is potentially a war factory. Don't quote me on any of this. This is literally just from what I've identified from the screenshots. Got a flame tank or something here. Are those like engineers? Tanks having a bit of a face-off there. Is that the GDF lighter tank? And that the one with the double turret? Maybe that's the heavier tank. You can see like a GDF air unit there in the top, which you can see there as well. They definitely do look like engineers or something, don't they? Those look like power reactors. That could be like an ore silo, or in this case Tempest Vine silo. Like if you want to store more cash than you've actually got capacity for, then you'd build silos. What else can we see? Some more infantry down here. That could be the HQ or command center. Not sure what that is. These are some kind of longer range unit. I've seen them attacking infantry in the video and stuff. I think that was the same vehicle. I'm not sure. Obviously sandbags. Is that some kind of a flame tank again? It does look like it, doesn't it? Is it a flame defense? It looks like a flame defense actually. So like is it from the old Command & Conquers? Okay, bit of a lighter map. There's the... Has that got 2 turrets? Yeah, 2 turrets, 3 turrets. Not sure what vehicle that is. It's some kind of amphibious vehicle. Is that supposed to be water down there or not? Bit of car on the detail there. Some kind of helicopter from GDF. That could... Oh, that might be a barracks, actually. Maybe it's either a barracks or the construction yard. Not 100%. Obviously got the wire fences and stuff like that. Explosive barrels. Yeah, I'm not sure that screenshot there, if it's actually from the game, like really zoomed in, or is that from like the CGI / trailers and stuff. I'm not sure. That looks very good. Whatever kind of screen that is, if that's where you accept your mission, or... Oh, it looks like you're asking different questions. You've got like multiple choice. Okay, looks pretty cool. This looks insane. It's more zoomed out. You can see more units and stuff. Those do look like amphibious vehicles, if that's the same one from before. Is that some kind of a bunker or an outpost or something like that? Got some kind of red laser beam or something firing there. So yeah, I probably should have explained. It's like set in an alternate history where there's been a nuclear war already, and this is the post-nuclear war. So obviously with the 3 factions, but as I say, for now we can only see 2. Is that like ore refinery / Tempest Vine refinery, something like that? Yeah, maybe some of you guys can identify some of these better than me, or maybe I've got some of these wrong and you can correct me. Okay, quite a lot going on here. These look like some kind of flame troopers. That's like more of a heavy tank for the Tempest Dynasty. Are those like resource collectors? Obviously that's an airfield or a helipad. They do look like resource collectors, them 3, don't they? That could be power reactor or resource silo. Something from the trailer. Maybe something else from the videos and trailer. So yeah, it's like in an alternate history set on Earth after a nuclear war. THQ Nordic, which to be honest I haven't heard of them before any of this. They're the publisher along with 3D Realms and Slipgate Ironworks. I mean, maybe I'll do another video, maybe I can do a little bit more digging into some of the other games that they've worked on and what we can kind of expect. But I think we can gather quite a lot from all of this already. So yeah, I won't bore you by reading all of that stuff now. I'll paste it in the description, you can have a read. But 3 factions, they've each got a distinct economy and playstyle. Classic RTS. Yeah, you can see they're focused on the 90s and 2000s there. Each faction has got a different unique set of units, as you would expect. 2 single-player campaigns between cutscenes. I think that is a big thing, you know, like music and like the cutscenes and stuff. You don't think a lot about that when you're actually playing a game, but it actually does. If you get into the campaign and you actually really get into the story and stuff like that, then you actually... I think that plays a big part in getting people into it. Going to have skirmish, custom games, ranked, multiplayer, and an ELO rating system. Hopefully there's like no connection issues. This is something else I wrote on Twitter. Something that like Command and Conquer is plagued with, like when you're trying to join other players and there's like connection issues, or you can't connect to this player, or there's a mismatch and stuff like that. Hopefully there's a way to make all of that kind of really, really smooth. I think I've covered most of the stuff from there, if not already on my notepad. But what I'm going to do now is actually just play that trailer again, but I'm going to freeze frame it at the points where you can see more stuff than you can in those screenshots. So for example, so this is not gameplay here. This is all obviously just the CGI graphics, stuff like that. But we want to freeze it where we can actually see so like that there actually looks more like CGI, because then it goes down, doesn't it? It goes down to more ground level, so that's CGI. But actually from like here, I think. So that there is obviously part of the gameplay. That tank for me does fly a little bit far, just from a rocket trooper hit there or something hit there, and the tank actually goes flying. I mean, I'd rather it rather than just disappear and sink into the ground. I'd rather it do something, but it does seem at first to fly a little bit far. But I'm sure this is far from the finished product and things might change. But and I know that's like minor detail, but all of these the kind of things like the tire tracks there. Like imagine the tank just drives and there's no tire track. That just annoys me. Or there's no like smoke or anything or dust from where the tank drives, or the explosions are over the top. All of this kind of stuff adds up for me. Yeah, that tank does fly quite a bit. Right, so that there is a really good screenshot to have. So you can clearly see over here on the right hand side. So what we've got power. You've got your power there. So we've got plenty of power we can see. So that must mean that maybe those 4 things there are power reactors, and maybe those 3 things there are silos. Not quite sure what's going on here. Maybe that's like a barracks, or maybe this is some kind of a custom mission where you've got like prisoners or something like that, or you've got to put your engineers in there or something. Is that a possible war factory? Is that possible resource collection? Is that your command center? Is that like a mid-tier tech building like I was alluding to before? Is it called a command center in like Kane's Wrath? I think it could potentially be. Here that could be... Is that just one of them again? Yeah, it looks like it actually. Yeah, it does look like it. You can clearly see here where you build your buildings. It's like a F1 through to F12, like in... I believe that's like that in Kane's Wrath. And you've got your different tabs here: buildings, defenses, infantry, vehicles, aerial. Okay, so that'll be yeah, flying units. Okay, yeah, so you can clearly see we will need silos, which will probably be them 3 things. And you can see them full of red, which is obviously its Tempest Vines. And you can see we're actually almost full. So it's basically just like the original Command & Conquers, which is what they were aiming for. What is that one? Oh, no. Please don't be a unit cap. Please don't be a unit cap. That one in the middle. There's something about it that I like. That even if I don't have the resources to do it, I like the possibility that if I wanted to build 9,000 tanks, I could do it. Even if eventually it'll crash the game or something, I do not want a population limit. So I have no other way of figuring it out. Sorry, I'm not figuring it out, but I'm thinking of what that could be. But it's got to be a population cap, hasn't it? And that's already annoyed me a little bit, actually. It's the first thing I've seen of this game that's actually annoying me. That, and I also wonder if sometimes is it a little bit too dark and creepy, like on some of the other maps where it's all like dark and red. It does look a bit like StarCraft 2. But I suppose there are white maps as well. I just sometimes want it like to be a bit more maybe just plain like desert, tropical. You know, not with like everything's being dark and creepy like StarCraft 2-esque, because it does look a bit like StarCraft 2, doesn't it? A little bit. Okay, so that is obviously something building. Is that was it a war factory or construction yard, wasn't it? That looks like some powers being hit. That looks like an advanced reactor with 2 spinning power things. That's Tempest attacking the GDF. There is a resource collector with a refinery. Is that like a gap generator, which basically will shroud the map, or is that like an expansion point, like you build that there? Oh yeah, maybe you build that there and it allows you to build here, just like a, you know, allows you to creep around with your stuff potentially. Yeah, I don't know actually. Okay, so if we just go back a second, what is that? So actually the different factions seem to collect differently. With the GDF, it looks like you have got a resource refinery type thing, or Tempest Vine refinery, and then you've got a single resource collector that will go over here, collect it, and then drop it back off at the station. But this one looks more mobile. So it's said in the description actually that they all collect differently. The economies run differently. This looks like a mobile resource collector. So it goes here, and in a minute you'll see like I think 4 mini harvesters will come off and start collecting. I think we see that anyway. That looks like a power plant's being built. The fact that there's 2 of them, that must be war factories. Is that some kind of a gap generator or some kind of like super powered defense? Is that a defense? Is that a defense? This is obviously a Tempest stuff, another power reactor. Don't know what that is down there. It's obviously part of the CGI. Okay, so there you can see the 4 different harvesters either docking or leaving that and collecting. So Tempest seems to have a lot of flame units. We just saw there just 1 frame ago. Those are like flame troopers. And then you've got flame tanks just flaming down this GDF base. Okay, so there's that like kind of artillery unit I mentioned before. Is that a barracks or not? It's got these hands. It could be. It looks like the same screenshot actually we've seen before, like one of the main screenshots. It must be from one of the missions. Like you're creeping forward here with your infantry. There was a few tanks here. I think they've been cleared out, but now there's this artillery unit. Is that doing much damage to the infantry? Is it more of an anti-tank unit or what? I don't know. These infantry, I can't quite make out actually what they are. That's what I mean by are the infantry battles decent? So like here, for example, when he dies, he like rolls over. There is blood. You can see like I think you can see bullets hitting the ground and stuff. So it does look and feel a little bit realistic. Obviously, it's nowhere near realistic. There's not been a nuclear war, and there's not double-ended tanks running around shooting flames out of them in real life. But you want like the details, like bullet holes, tire tracks, the way the tank moves. Does it just spin here, or does it move in a more realistic way? Does the turret move around and stuff like that? I think that's probably most of the stuff, apart from, let's just have a look at those tanks there. So yeah, I don't know if they're lighter tanks. They don't have 2 turrets or not, but whatever that is getting absolutely nailed. Looks like a resource collector perhaps. But throughout this you can only see Tempest Dynasty and GDF. So obviously this 3rd faction, it's going to be like Skrin, isn't it? Like out of Kane's Wrath, it'll be introduced later. Did that get introduced later? I can't remember now. Okay, so that looks like a resource collector has just died. The circles around the units don't look too big and bright and green like in some other games. The cursor and everything looks pretty decent. The health bar isn't too overpowering and too large. Everything is kind of looking nice, to be honest. So nice details and nice guys that like the same stuff as us are looking into this. You can clearly tell. Some crazy defense there. Did that actually shoot? Don't know if that actually shot. Yeah, it did. Did it shoot? I don't know, but you can see these little drones flying around actually. So I think that is anti-air, and I think he's shooting at these tiny little drones. That's why it's important to freeze frame these trailers, because you can see some crazy stuff. Destroyed Dynasty Silo, destroyed Dynasty SAM site. Okay, so there you go, it's a SAM site, but it's destroying the drones though. So maybe those drones fly above the troopers and like repair them or something, I don't know. Oh, that's the last scene there. Obviously flicks through all of this pretty quick. You got a helipad, these artillery units again. This looks like a tier 1 tank. More artillery units, but are they smaller? They look smaller. They look smaller and mobile, whereas these look more long range, crazy stuff. That's obviously like anti-tank or missile troopers, something like that. Can we see a better? Not sure what that is. Maybe that's an advanced tech building. Helipad. So you've got like sandbags. We've seen wire fences, and then obviously you've got walls as well. And I think that is it. But then that scene there at the end with the tank, that's decent as well. Don't know which tank that is, but everything is just looking pretty good, apart from the fact that I've just seen that unit cap. So yeah, I'm super excited. Hopefully you found it useful, me going through the different bits and freeze framing that, and hopefully you can figure out a little bit more from it. If you know anything more about this game or whatever, or if I've said anything wrong in this video, feel free to correct me in the comments and I'll try and reply back to you. But yeah, let me know if you're excited for this. I am super excited because it's pretty much the only thing going for us that's going to be like Command & Conquer and actually ticks a lot of my boxes, apart from this unit cap. I'm going to have to go away and think about that, how I feel about that. Yeah, but let me know your thoughts. GG, and see you in the next one.